Hey guys, Judd coming at you from the carriage house, where currently we're thawing out after a foot of snow. What even is a bomb cyclone anyway? It's like they make this stuff up as they go along. Shaved off the ice fishing beard because, you know, it's not 2 degrees anymore. It's a balmy 27 degrees Fahrenheit. It might even get above freezing today. We're in After Effects. We're gonna make some text slide out from behind stuff. It's gonna be great. It's super easy. You're gonna put it in your travel videos. Your grandma's gonna think you're a genius. You're gonna be a fucking superstar. Intro. Making text slide out from objects. We're going to use something called a track mat. It's an object that acts like a mask, and it tells where another object can be visible on the screen and where it can't be. We're going to start out in Boston. It's going to be super easy. We're going to learn the basics, and then boom, we're going to Denali. We're going to spice it up, make it a little more interesting. I'm just so excited. I want to stop talking about it. I want to do it. So let's slide over to the Mac. So I'm in After Effects here. I've got my composition set up. I've got this image of Boston that I got from unsplash.com, which is a great site to get images for your personal projects. I've got my text set up here the way that I want it to appear. We're gonna have it slide out from behind this John Hancock Tower right here. And the way we're gonna do that is with track mats. So I'm gonna select this Boston layer right here. I'm gonna create a solid on top of it. So I'm gonna go up to Layer, New, Solid. I'm gonna name it track mat. I'm gonna abbreviate it because that's what all the cool kids are doing nowadays. And for some reason, I always make my track mats lime green. I don't know, it's just a habit. When I'm looking through my project, I know that that's a track mat, it's just another way. So this creates a solid that fills up the whole screen. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna click and drag this just to the edge of the building there. And now over here on our Boston layer, there's this little drop-down menu, and I'm just gonna click Alpha Mat, Track Mat. And basically what that is saying is, this Boston text is only visible where that solid was. So if I drag it over here, it's not visible, and then it is visible. Do the same thing with this Ested in 1630. The shortcut to make a solid is Command Y. I'm gonna drag it over. I'm gonna hold down Shift so it goes left and right to the edge of the building. So we got our track mat set up, and now what we want to do is we want to add some motion to this. So I'm going to select the Boston layer, and I'm going to hold down Command and select the 1630 layer. So they're both selected. I'm going to hit P on my keyboard, and that brings up the position attribute here. I'm at 2 seconds here in my composition. I've got a little bit of motion to the background, but I want these words to slide out at the 2 second mark, and I want it to take a second. So this is where I want them to end up. So I'm going to hit the stopwatch to set my position. I'm gonna go back 1 second. I'm gonna click and drag these behind the building. So now when we preview our whole composition, they slide out. Easy as that, that's it. Okay, so now that we got the basics, we've done a simple slide out effect here. Let's make it a little more complicated, see if we can make it a little cooler. Got a composition set up for Denali. So same idea, we've got our text over here, and we want to make it slide out from behind this mountain, and instead of going left to right or right to left, we're going to go up. And what's different about this is we're not dealing with a straight edge, so we're not going to be able to use a solid, but instead we're going to make a shape of this mountain and use that as the track mat. So what we're going to do is go up to Layer, New, Shape Layer. And that's going to create us a new shape layer right here. We're going to open this up, and we're going to add a path. And using the pen tool, we're just gonna make a shape right here. So I'm gonna zoom in. I'm gonna start from the peak here and just use your pen tool. It doesn't have to be perfect, but the longer you spend on it, the better it's gonna look. If you screw up, just hit Control Z, start over. You know, you're gonna need some coffee to do this. You're gonna need some music, you know, it takes a while. Okay, so now I'm just gonna go straight up, and I'm gonna go straight over and close this path. So now we have our shape right here. So now that we have our shape, we gotta add some fill to it. So I'm gonna go to Add my shape layer and Fill. If you don't have any fill on it, the track mat's not gonna work. So now we need to add this track mat to 3 separate things: Denali, the elevation, and then the feet. But as you can see here, our track mat option isn't available. So what you do is hit this toggle switches mode button right here. That brings up our track mat. We can do Alpha Mat Shape Layer 1 for Denali. Now we have to duplicate that shape layer and apply the track mat to the other pieces of text as well. So with that layer selected, I'm just gonna hit Command D to duplicate. I'm going to drag it on top of the elevation layer and do that again. Drag it, add the track mat. So now if I select all my text layers, should be able to test this out. And they do in fact go behind the mountain, so that's good stuff. So let's add a little bit of motion now. So I'm going to select all my text layers again. I'm going to hit P on the keyboard to bring up my position. And at 2 seconds I want them all to be right there. So I add a keyframe. I'm going to go back 1 second and I'm going to drag all these behind the mountain so that they come up like this. And as you can see, I got a little bit of animation count up effect on that elevation. Let me know in the comments if you want to know how to do that. It's not very straightforward, but it's not hard. But if you don't know how to do it, you're not going to be able to figure it out. So let me know if you want to learn that. Now I want to spice this up a little bit. So what I'm going to do is have these pieces of text animate sequentially, one at a time, instead of all coming up as one big block. And the way I'm going to do that is just move some of these keyframes. So I'm going to keep Denali where it is, and I'm going to move these other keyframes ahead, 5 frames. So I'm going to hold down Option and hit right 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And what that does is move the anchor points further along in the timeline. I'm going to do the same thing for the feet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Test that out, see how that looks. See, now they come out one at a time. To make this even a little more interesting, what I'm going to do is add easy ease to these keyframes. And what that does is, instead of these coming in at the same speed and stopping, they'll kind of slowly come to a stop. So you just select these, right click, do keyframe assistant, and do easy ease, F9. So you can use F9 on your keyboard and you can just see the difference already with these things. See how they kind of come to a stop. Now to add even more personality to this, I'm going to mess with the speed graph. And basically what that does is control the speed at which these pieces of text animate in. So I'll start with Denali. I'm going to highlight the keyframes. I'm going to come over to this little graph icon here and click it. Now this is the graph editor. I'm going to turn off these other layers so you can focus on Denali. And you see a graph here, and it basically shows you how fast this piece of text is moving over time. So it starts out slow, 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 then it goes fast, and then it comes to slow halt. Now this is the default easy ease graph. It's fine, but I'm going to add a little bit of personality to it. And what I'm going to do is click on this keyframe here, and you get these handles. I'm just going to drag this one as far as I can this way. So basically what this is saying is this Denali is going to start out really, really fast and slow down as it comes in. So you can see it like this. It just makes it a little cooler. I'm going to do the same with the other 2 pieces of text, and I can do them both at the same time if I drag and select all of them, go to the graph editor, select both these keyframes, drag them over, get back to my timeline. Let's see how this looks. Not bad, right? Pretty simple, not difficult. If you want me to go in depth on speed graphs and easy ease and just making movement a little more unique, let me know in the comments. So if we go back to our Boston composition, we can see how the text slides out all as one. Pretty good, not terrible. And if we go to Denali, we can see with just a little bit more time how we can make this look. It's cool. That's it. That's all it is. You're learning this stuff so fast. Guys, if you use this tutorial to do something cool, put a link in the description. I'd love to see it. If you like this video, let the world know by hitting the like button. If you want to see more videos, click subscribe. Thanks for stopping by the Carriage House. I'll see you next time.